In the chaotic battle in the Mugen Train arc, Rengoku gave every bit of his energy just to catch up with the Upper Moon 3 Akaza, but in the end, he got a donut made out of him, which surprised everyone, especially Tanjiro, as he considered Rengoku as his mentor, his big brother, and his everything. But what if we paint a picture that is so interesting that it could change the whole scenario of Demon Slayer? What if Rengoku accepts the offer that Akaza gave him, with the best intentions in Rengoku's best interest? Here's what would happen if the overpowered Rengoku, who's completely defeated, accepts the very offer to become a demon. To start off with, in the heat of the moment, Rengoku would think that it's impossible to defeat Akaza and that any more resistance would only get everyone around him killed. So without further resistance, Rengoku accepts the offer that he would indeed accept Muzen's blood, which would send chills down Akaza's spine. Akaza would be so interested in this scenario that he would be willing to do anything to make someone as strong as the Demon Slayer captain turn into a literal demon. So there, Akaza would turn Rengoku into a demon by biting him. But being one of the strongest Hashiras, it would take quite some time for his transformation to be fully completed. Now with enhanced healing, a hair that is shining brighter than ever, and teeth that resemble a demon, Rengoku is standing tall, but interestingly enough, he would seem more calm and composed, not the usual feisty guy that he is. Then Tanjiro and Inosuke wouldn't be able to accept the truth, with Tanjiro even going as far as to hug him, hanging on to the last straw. But suddenly, Rengoku would slap him and Tanjiro would get sent a good kilometer away. That's where Inosuke would try his luck, so with full power, he would attack the demon Rengoku with his sword. But Rengoku would easily dodge him, and throw an uppercut so bad that the boar would turn him into a little cat. Tanjiro would instantly feel the difference between their strength, and would desperately try to fight Rengoku. However, Rengoku would put him to sleep by smacking the back of Tanjiro's neck and leave with Akaza, who's quite injured as the sun is coming up. The news would appear to everyone in the Demon Corps, and no one would believe that this actually happened, especially Giyu and Mitsuri. The Wind Hashira would try to kill Rengoku once he betrayed everyone. Back in Muzan's den, there wouldn't be much action since Rengoku would easily prove his loyalty to him. That's because by nature, Rengoku is a loyal guy, and he would have no problems proving himself. Since this is one of the most special demon cases they ever had, Muzan would keep training Rengoku himself, so he wouldn't appear in the Red Light District arc or the Swordsman Village, where our guys killed the upper rank 6 Gyoko and Hantengu. With that out of the way, Rengoku would be trained as the Upper Moon 5, taking over Gyoko, and would not appear so often. Back at the Demon Corps, everyone would be worried about how strong Rengoku might have become, since Tanjiro himself felt that one hit was enough to send him a kilometer away from the battle, and even Inosuke, with his full strength, got destroyed. But then an intense battle between Tanjiro, Giyu, and Akaza occurs, when the two of them manage to kill Akaza. Still, just as they give him the final blow, Rengoku absorbs the Upper Moon 3 along with his spot and abilities. This makes him on par with Upper Moon 2, who is Doma. Once again, both Giyu and Tanjiro were tired, but wanted Rengoku to return. However, with his new abilities, he slashed one of Giyu's arms, but Tanjiro would ultimately save him from being killed. That's where Rengoku tells him his plan: to forcibly convert every Hashira into a demon or kill and consume them with a power that Muzan himself trained him for. But that's when Tanjiro comes and tells Rengoku that Nezuko is also a demon, but she helps everyone, triggering a sense of goodness in Rengoku, who ultimately disappears once again. As he's going away, Giyu would use his water-breathing 5th form to try and kill him, but would ultimately fail because Rengoku just didn't want to fight, for now. Then came the Hashira training arc, where everyone was willing to train their hardest, since the threats had increased to the next level by now. The story would escalate a lot from here, since Muzan believes he's already ready to get Nezuko and find the power of the sun. So now he wants all the Upper Moons and himself to attack while everyone is training to get stronger. Amongst all these people we have Sanemi, who's just so angry and wants to fight with Rengoku, who is now turned into the strongest guy we've ever seen. During their training, Rengoku and Kokushibo changed the course of the battle and gained the upper hand, gaining more allies. So while Kokushibo would be fighting Muichiro Tokito and Obanai Iguro, we would see Rengoku taking on Giyu, who was hiding in his home, just trying to recover from the trauma. As soon as Giyu saw Rengoku panicking, he instantly tried to attack him. He would tell Rengoku how big of a coward he was, and how badly he stacked up against the Demon Slayers. However, Rengoku would change the whole narrative by saying that in order to protect the people you love, you need to become strong yourself. That's where he reveals that he would like to create his own army of demons and get rid of people, so there would be eternal peace in this world without pain and suffering. Giyu would say that his whole scheme is nothing but tomfoolery, and that he doesn't understand kindness and love anymore. Rengoku would then become darker, and tell Giyu that he would make him experience the same darkness that he faced. Giyu would suddenly get chills, but was so angry at the time that he'd end up unlocking his Demon Slayer mark and becoming 10 times stronger than he had always been. With enhanced abilities, a lot of strength, and power that could shake the core of the earth, he seems ready to fight one of the strongest battles of his life. To make it interesting, Giyu would temporarily overpower Rengoku by sending him flying out of his house, and this is the second time the Water Hashira ended up using his ability. Then Giyu would use his 11th form, Death Calm, to nullify the attack of the surprised Rengoku, who's getting excited. Even with one arm, Giyu is strong, but but that's where he receives Mitsuri Kanroji's help. In the battle, Mitsuri would also unlock the Demon Slayer mark, but then things would get dark, as Rengoku would now use Akaza's abilities too. By fighting with Mitsuri and Giyu in hand-to-hand combat, he makes a donut out of Giyu and destroys Mitsuri at the same time. Both the Hashiras are squirming like little worms, and that's when Rengoku gives Giyu the choice to join the battlefield as a demon. However, he would literally deny it, which would cause the eccentric Rengoku to consume him. But as soon as he's about to consume Mitsuri too, Sanemi comes to save the day by using his wind breathing. He gets rid of all of the trees from the battleground, exposing Rengoku to some good old sunshine. By looking at that, Rengoku would get deeper into the jungle to escape, and would ultimately get saved by Kokushibo. Sanemi would be angry, but sad at the same time, that not only did Rengoku destroy Mitsuri and kill Giyu, but the Upper Moon 1 killed Muichiro. In their battle, the Stone Hashira came and ultimately prioritized the safety of Obanai-Iguro. Everyone is summoned to the Demon Slayer Corps, and the news saddens Tanjiro, Inosuke, and Zenitsu. Zenitsu, on the other hand, already destroyed Kaigaku, and Doma would also be killed. So while both sides faced a lot of losses, in the end, Rengoku would only get stronger and stronger. This time, Muzan would praise Rengoku that he's stronger than Upper Moon 2 and on par with Kokushibo, who's Upper Moon 1. However, he would also be disappointed to see that they let Doma die, since he was one of the strongest. Now, while panic ensues in the Demon Slayer Corps, we see another attack by Muzan, Kokushibo, and Rengoku on the Demon Slayer Corps, who's already weakened to a deadly level. Muzan would quickly appear before Ubuyashiki and kill everyone he could get in contact with. On the other hand, Rengoku would be angry at Sanemi for his guts, so he would fight Sanemi, Tanjiro, Inosuke, and Zenitsu. They're at an all-time high now. Rengoku has the abilities of Giyu and Akaza, making him a deadly force to reckon with. Kokushibo would be stacked against Obanai-Iguro and Gyome Himejima, both of which would ultimately kill the Upper Moon 1 by exposing him to sunlight. But before that, we'd see an epic showdown between our boys, where Sanemi would show no mercy and unlock his Demon Slayer mark with ease. At the same time, Tanjiro would unlock his mark, and both would use a technique called Bright Red Nichirin Sword to cut Rengoku in half. While they may feel like they've won, they see that Rengoku can regenerate easily, and then use Water Breathing's 10th form, which becomes a dragon and attacks both Tanjiro and Giyu. Their battle turns messy, but now Obanai and Gyome join the battle too, making everyone turn against Rengoku. In the heat of the battle, Rengoku performs a new technique called the Mixed Breathing Form 1, Ultimate Death. This attack created a huge fire bubble with water filled inside, but both properties can stay together with each other. While everyone is fighting for their survival, Genya shoots Rengoku's leg off using his Nichirin pellets. But surprisingly, this time, Rengoku's not healing. But even in this poor situation, he manages to take away Iguro's arm, one of Sanemi's hands, and kills off Genya, which angers everyone. Gyome Himejima feels a lot for his teammates. That's where his cursed mark gets unlocked, which changes the tide of the battle. As everyone is hiding in the jungle, the sun slowly starts to rise, and that's where the Stone Hashira uses Arcs of Justice, which is the 5th form of his breathing style. This sends Rengoku flying into the air, and while everyone is hoping that this battle is over, they soon realize that Rengoku is now immune to the sun due to his pseudo-demon abilities, which resemble that of Nezuko. Even though he's defeated and everyone is now coming for Rengoku's head, Muzan gets the tickle and appears on the battlefield, consuming Rengoku vigorously. As he's dying, Rengoku thanks Tanjiro and tells him to set his heart ablaze in revenge for Muzan. This was the end of Rengoku, the fan-favorite Hashira, and now the Demon Slayer's next battle is beginning. Who do you think will kill Muzan now that he has the power to walk in the sun? Let us know in the comments down below. Now you can check out this other cool anime video that's appearing on your screen. Go ahead, click on it.